All right, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for being so wonderfully patient, as we are ready to go now with some D&D online head gaming. It is Thursday, which means it is time for some more Song of Rapture, as DM'd by Monsieur Omen. Monsieur Omen, what do you have for us tonight?
Last Song of Rapture, our heroes found themselves in a deep, dank area, hidden away from the rest of this haunted little town they find themselves in, facing what seems to be the potential consequences of very recent, once thought heroic action. But that's not my story to tell. Can someone tell me what happened last time on the Song of Rapture?
You.
From Lionhead Gaming himself?
Indeed, it has been a while since you've gotten a recap.
The Lionhead Gaming?
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
wow.
Oh, wow.
God. Love it. Makes me want to buy some merch.
God damn it! Fuck. By all means, feel free to look below the channel and get some merch.
Don't do that, it's a
The
trap.
sweaters are comfy.
They are really good. When last we left our heroes, the valiant vanguard came to the aid of a woman in the northern part of Garen's Well, bloodied and battered with vicious bite wounds, and wolves seemingly bearing down on her. Gregory and Javen were quick to cut down the beasts, and were told that this woman's sister was further up ahead and in danger as well. Alas, things were not that simple. Shadow mastiffs leapt from the cover of darkness to attack our heroes, and scourges from above would descend upon the wounded. The blood-sucking vermin were dealt with swiftly, and the vanguard used their magic to bathe the alleyways in light and reveal their shadowy foes so they too could be cleared away. It was when a lone scourge steered away from his allies and flew from the battle, Gregory knew that they needed to make haste and find the missing sister before it did. Luna summoned forth her Shadow Knight and stayed back to pick off the remaining mastiffs with Samantha, while the rest of the party ran ahead to investigate. Another wolf, like the ones first encountered and first slain, was engaged in combat against a larger Shadow Mastiff. As soon as it saw the vanguard running towards it, the creature fled and left the Mastiff to us. Thankfully, the sister was unharmed. When the sisters Catherine and Grace were reunited, they mentioned the wolves that had stood before them, or mentioned that the wolves had stood before them, but did not harm them. Catherine suggested that it was as if the wolves were keeping the other hounds away. Finding this somewhat strange, Quill took another look at the wolf corpses, which were now slowly transforming into a human shape. After the two women were escorted away by the town guard, the valiant vanguard were able to get a closer look at these wolfmen. Quill had heard stories of men cursed with lycanthropy, which would turn them into these werewolves. Gregory, seeing their glowing eyes and silver hair, remembered a man in the church of Sune with similar features and thought perhaps answers could be found there. The bodies were stowed in Luna's bag of holding and quickly taken to the church. Gregory expressed his remorse for murdering potentially innocent people to the rest of the vanguard. He insisted on seeking repentance for what he'd done and led the way into the hidden staircase beneath the altar. In each their own way, the valiant vanguard assured Gregory they would not allow him to face this alone. Underground, they came across two large doors to another church, and beyond that, a wide-open room with hooded figures within. At the altar was Sarah, the man Gregory had seen before, with the mark of Malar on his hand. The mysteries surrounding Garen's Well only continued to grow, but have the valiant vanguard found allies to help them break through the fog? Or have they stumbled upon another enemy lurking within the darkness? Find out tonight, as we write our next verse in the Song of Rapture.
Very well done. Give yourself some deep inspiration.
I need it. Gimme. I'm gonna eat it right now.
All right. As indeed, we find the valiant vanguard. Still trying to get used to that name. Stepping down into a hidden, almost like temple of sorts, broken and in a state of disarray, only lit by small braziers, torches in this dank place. And when it seemed like there was this sort of empty cathedral to another god upstairs, down here, A new life seems to bloom, one cloaked in shadows and mystery, one might even say in secrets, as they find themselves approaching what seems to be a gathering of who they could presume to be followers of the many-faced beast Malard. As you enter this place, you can see, especially Gregory leading the way with torch in hand, all around you, the place just looks... It looks like nobody should have been here for quite some time. Next to you is this fallen pillar that it looks like it's been broken into several pieces, and perhaps maybe just through age and time has caused it to fall away almost into sand and rubble. You can see it looks like stone tomb, like almost like coffin. Some of them half open, some of them completely open and broken and chipped away. It looks like this would have been a tomb of sorts, but it's been somewhat decorated or changed in recent time. You can see all around you, some of them standing in more obvious positions and others almost masked in shadows behind pillars. Men wearing these dark cloaks, and from within you can see just streaks of gray hair sort of peeking out from within. But what really stands out to all of you, even with those who lack this ability to see well in the darkness, is sort of the glimmer of eyes facing. Like when you're looking out into the night and you see the refraction rather, of an animal's beastly eyes gazing back at you. And the brightest of them all, lit by a candlelight that seems to silhouette him at the end of this grand tomb, at the end of this altar, is the man you met before, Gregory, although briefly. A man with slicked back silver hair and bright golden eyes, a scar running up across his face like a wicked grin that sort of offsets the serious expression he greets you with. Ah, and there you are. As this man very quietly steps down, tack, 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 these hard soles of boots echoing across these stone stairs. Start to move forward a little bit, and you can see around you sort of skittering across the ground, almost catching over your foot, Gregory. Small furry body as a rat crawls up. You can see it like sort of nestling up on one of these little pillars here. The ceiling seems like there's other creatures hopping around as well. Creatures hanging upside down. One of them a small bat, although it seems very twisted and emaciated. All around the corners, you can even see peeking around from one of these ends here. On this tomb is a small black face and a pair of bright yellow eyes and pointed ears. Looks like a cat. This place doesn't seem to be home to just the people, but strange. It seems you found her, although the secret has already been discovered.
Yeah.
But you smell of blood. You have a
I'm
story.
guessing one of your folks already told you. Or was that you that ran off?
It was one of our faces. Who it was matters not. We're all but many faces of the great beast. An interesting dilemma. Blood has been spilled, but there are more interesting scents upon you than just the blood washed away with. As he seems to be walking closer, especially Luna, with your relatively sharp passive perception, able to pick up on the slight sounds of it, just the soft inhalation as this man steps forward, looking around. Some of the other men starting to shift around their position, getting a little closer. Look like they're sort of keeping their eyes on you.
Again, I just sort of instinctively, just the presence of this place, I try to see what can be seen, but it is answered with just a shooting pain up the side of my head. Just, yeah, yo. There's three of y'all. I don't know what all this is, but them other two, we brought them back, but I'll say it now. I'm sorry. I didn't know. And if you actually respect this place, oh, damn. I'm sorry. I can't undo.
So it was you. The one who swung the blade and carved.
It was all of us. If it wasn't his blade, it would have been mine. We had no idea that there were werewolves in Garen's Well.
A well-kept secret. It once was. And yet, what could have been and what could be matter. Do you accept responsibility, Orwellian?
What I did was wrong. Yeah. I understand. I wish I would have known, but a man that kills out of anger, out of ignorance, he still took a life.
Yes. We are sorry for what has proven to be a truly misfortunate misunderstanding. In our efforts to defend the wounded bystander, your 2 men were cut down by one of mine. Their forms hidden from my eyes until it was too late. It was not clear that they were trying to defend the woman from the Shadow Hounds. It is my deep regret to have wounded your pack so, but we have the full intention of keeping your secret. I am Samantha Deus. I come to you now without guise or deception, and bear my true visage, and embrace my scales in respect for the Lord of Beasts who blessed me with many gifts, including these, gesturing to her snake hair. That said, though, it seems we share a common enemy in whoever assailed those people with the hounds that hide in shadow and have spread terror throughout this town. We here at the Valiant Vanguard are a strong group, but as the first beast says, we will be stronger if we combine forces against this enemy. Hunt as one, and even the largest beast will fall.
He seems to eye you, Samantha, in particular, as you put yourself, or try to put yourself, rather, in front of the large, muscled man that is Greg. And as you sort of, reveal more of yourself, now drawing attention, especially with the fire, or the light of Greg's, something like a light spell, cascading over.
Got a lantern.
Your lantern basically silhouetting her with light. You can see
it's just hanging by my side, because Gregory he is as small as he can be. He has slumped shoulders, and his arms are just loose by his side. Lantern just sort of dragging against his...
but able to more easily see the details of your animalistic form. He definitely seems to have this very lasting look, and upon his face, still this sort of, I don't know what you call it, like a statuesque expression. Not quite happy, not quite upset, just more empty. Seems to be watching you, looking you over. And he looks down, I guess basically where your boots would be, past your armor, and then looks back up to you. You revealed a secret in respect to the god of secret.
Oh, Omen.
Huh?
Might want to turn up the sensitivity on your mic.
Oh,
You gotta
sure.
speak softly but loudly.
Project.
It's a challenge.
Whispers.
A god of secrets. Accepting a
gift you
secret
one.
from. Indeed. An interesting proposal, if nothing else. All of you. I smell that place upon you, but others. You are a very well-traveled group. You've seen many things. We must all know many secrets. Tell me, do you know of this place, this town, its secrets? The lore and legends it hides?
If anyone would, it would be me, but I don't think I know what you're referring to.
It is an interesting thing to seek out that which has not been found. The eye of Malar hangs high in the night sky, and it reveals all secrets. And his followers, those most devout, we find them. And yet this place, it is cast in such a dark shadow. Even his eye cannot pierce it. I must insist. Our place here is not to protect the people. We are not guardians of Garen's Well. We are the Seeker's Pack, and we hunt for offerings to give to our God. And yet, our latest charge brings us here, a place where we find nothing. Nothing but darkness that hides, and those who pry within are met with teeth and claws. You have faced these teeth, and you have felt their claws. Tell me, why are you here?
To uncover answers to secrets that don't have them. And if we find out that we don't like what those answers are, rewriting them. We're quite good at dealing with things when under pressure. We're quite strong. What we need is knowledge on what it is we are truly facing.
What you are facing is an invasion from the world beyond. A leak from one realm into another, from darkness into light. But that is merely the symptom, or so we have found. The beasts that crawl from the darkness, they are merely what causes harm to this place. They are merely the blood that flows from the wound. What we seek is that wound. We were given a task by the greatest above us, voice from the wilds itself. There is something in this town, something that is drawing the darkness out, something pulling it into its streets, sinking it upon this place, clouding it from all light, and it grows darker with every passing night. It hides its secrets, and now it's out for blood.
Look. Do you know how long this has been happening?
We arrived in this town many months ago. It was in quite a state of disarray. We spent our time looking around, taking many forms, sinking through the streets, looking for answers but found none. It is quite puzzling to be unable to find the delightful and horrible delicacies we wish to offer. And yet recently, it has gotten worse and worse and worse. Seems our place here may be at an end. And so we have been hunting these things, these beasts from the night, although they do not stop. You cut them down and there is no flesh in place, no bodies to amass. They leave nothing behind because they are nothing.
Simply a symptom.
A symptom.
So what is it you seek to offer?
When we face this darkness, we have no fear for our own life. The teeth, although formed from incorporeality, cannot pierce our hide, cannot pierce those blessed by Malar. And yet they grow greater in number. Though we may never die, perhaps they may bleed this town of all answers we seek. Perhaps they may cloud it so nothing may be seen. But one of you, if not many of you, revealed something interesting. Blades to cut us down. That takes power. That takes might. It takes what we admittedly lack. An ability to end it. But fighting the darkness itself would not decloud this place. A source must be found. And a source has been circled for many months now, although no way to approach. It all seems to revolve around one person in this place.
The doctor.
A strange creature. Indeed. A strange hunter in this realm. An outsider.
Do you think he is from this place of shadow and dark, crossing over to this world?
It could certainly be. It is strange to see this man in the light of day and in the darkness of the endless shadow that spreads. He looks like man, but he is far from one. Has no scent. Smells only of this place, like a graveyard. And yet where he walks, he is followed by praise and admiration. And as his work continues, the darkness grows. One cannot help but wonder the part he plays in this realm, in this game of darkness.
We seek answers from him and about him as well. If that is also what you seek, then I do not see any reason why we cannot help each other.
He seems to look you over, Samantha. Still that sort of vacant expression over his face. Eyes sort of locked with yours. And you have nothing to hide. No ulterior motive. You give praise to Malar, and yet you have nothing of secret.
Oh, I have plenty of secrets. I am sure, even though I have bared my visage and told you my name, you know not the importance of it. You know not the importance of the secrets that all of my companions hold as well, and I do not offer them. Simply our strength. We are quite strong and quite numerous, and we seek more or less the same thing. I gifted you my own secret because you have lost a part of your pack. I gift you my strength to help make up for that loss of strength on your behalf. This is a large quarry, one that we have information on that says he's been around a lot longer than he should be. You will not be able to pry the answers you seek from him alone. And we could do it, but I'm feeling generous.
Roll me a persuasion roll.
Guess what I'm using?
If you have anything for a red one?
Especially since it isn't retroactive in this universe. God, that sucks so hard.
Self-imposed disadvantage.
defeated it.
An interesting proposal. And an acceptable one. Perhaps from this bloodshed we may find this pack grow a bit larger. Very well. If you seek to end this darkness, to lay an end to these creatures in the night, we shall share a touch of our own secret. On one condition. One of you must claim responsibility for what you have done and bear the mark. As you see him put his hand against his body, sort of up under his robe, and you can just sort of hear this soft, like, almost like a wet sound as his fingers just sort of carve across his neck. And you can see as he pulls closer to the reveal, his fingers, where they look once nice and soft on the end, the tips have become long and sharpened like claws, and the ends now sort of drip with this red ichor. As he looks across the lot of you.
And what does this mark do?
It is merely a sign of devotion to a task given upon you by the many-faced beast. Assured it will be removed once the task is completed. But some who receive it find it tempting.
I'm the one
It
that
is a
walked
curse.
into all this. I'm the one that drew my blood.
Are you sure you want to bear that? I already have my own attachments to Malad. One more would not be too much.
I've heard the stories of Mallah. I understand what they is. Just, I trust in the words of the gods, but tell me, before all this happens, I heard it before. That hymn of it all from this place. I'm too tired to hear it now, but your folk, they were clouded in darkness, and I didn't hear that hymn. Do you know what sang that song here? Is it still alive? Is Sune still here?
The eye of Malar hangs high in the night sky, human. It is bright and silver and resplendent. But even though he acts in darkness, the many-faced beast requires, if but a sliver of her light, to shine, to see the secret he wishes to find. As long as Malar or any faith remains, I am certain the sun god will as well. Perhaps a spark that can be burned and returned to a great flame. Once our task here is complete.
Alright then.
And
Well,
once
I'll
it's
give a
complete,
warning.
this mark will be removed from whoever bears it.
So long as the task they take upon themselves is complete.
Like a sort of contract.
Scars are hard to forget after all.
What's the task?
Scar.
The task will be given once the mark is laid.
Yeah, see, I don't like that, because then you can just make something up. I don't trust you.
That is
Trust.
a wise decision. You have a lot you are devoted to. I do not any longer. And in a way I cannot help but feel that this is partially my fault as well.
It's hard to believe this. All this. I understand my part, and I understand I need to atone, but Saris, Malar, I'm sure you understand what it means to follow him. I know his teachings, I know what it all means, but they were heavily drowsed, drugged down by caution. One last thing. In this place that should be holy, allow me to bring it forth, and I'll trust you from there.
Roll me a persuasion roll.
Persuasion. Hey!
A man of faith. I cannot doubt you for your word, and I cannot deny you of your action. Very well. As I say, once our task is complete, we have no purpose in this town, and we shall leave. What remains behind is not ours to take. You wish to bring the light forth? Do so.
Oh well. Don't begrudge me for what I'm about to do. But with Malar's presence here, I can't trust your words. I'm sorry. I'm gonna remove him from this place for just a bit. As I unsheath my blade off my back, turn it upside down. As the blade starts to glow, I stab it into the stone. As the stone around me, it seems like light just spreads out in this gigantic sigil of Avandra beneath my feet, spreading in a large circle as the air itself seems to spread with a bit of light, and it seems to, for Greg at least, lighten his shoulders, lighten the weight on him as it takes away the need to lie ever so slightly as I cast a zone of truth, trying to force back the presence of Malar.
Nice.
Oof.
As this
As I'm
ripple,
auto-failing my own thing.
as this ripple of light washes over him, you see Sarah sort of like hold out his hand as this energy begins to radiate out. And you can see as it interacts with him, there's this sort of shift in his body. You can see like this long, extended, pale hand. The skin almost seems to like not fall away, but it shifts for a moment as if it were like liquid. And you can see like the tips of long, beastly claws before they twist into these like very sharp and like gnarled nails. And you can see like patches of fur and feathers and scales run like a wave up over his body, and all seems to run through him unseen through the rest of his body, hidden behind his cloak, and it almost seems like it would begin at his face, but it almost seems to linger before returning back to its normal shape. But Gregory, with your connection to this thing, let's see, you can tell that whether or not he intended to, that Saris accepted the magic. You can see him take a deep breath. Avondran, you are. I know the present. I thought you a man of tear, or a truth seeker. But your secret.
I've pledged myself to no particular god, sir. That's why I speak to you now. I love all their stories. Even Malar. I know the hurt some people live through when they turn to him, because they have to live. That's why I want to trust your words. Are you truly here to stop this evil? And you wish no ill will on the innocents here?
The many-faced beast is a hunter, but his prey does not reside here. He has no need to spill their blood. He seeks secrets to sate his hunger. But I cannot lie and say we have no wish to cause harm to a denizen, for there is one who we find acceptable.
I understand. The mark that you're gonna place upon me, I am not willing to give you my life. I'm sorry, but I got other people I live for. I'll atone for it. I'll do what needs to be done, but do you promise that we'll go our separate ways? Mallah holds a place in my heart, but he cannot be the only one.
A place in your heart. Interesting choice of words. I cannot promise this will be the last time we meet. The world is small, and our faces are many. Today you meet me as Ceres. Another day you may meet me as another man. But I have no more business with you, follower of Avondra, Oakwellian, Bloodspiller. But it is not a sin to hold Melor in your heart. Know this. Though he acts in darkness, he acts only that you reach into your own heart and find your true nature. Embrace it. As he motions for you to sort of draw back your cloak as well as part of your armor. Expose thine flesh and give thyself penance.
As I reach up and just sort of unclasp a piece of this bear skin that's fucking rugged as all shit, that's been torn up all to hell over the years that I've had it, unclasp it, and piece of my armor as I just sort of slide it off to one. Go ahead and do it then.
You see him put his hand very gingerly on your shoulder. Devout you are. And he pulls his fingers across your shoulder, and there's this sudden hot stinging pain. Not the worst you've ever felt. It just feels like a very superficial wound. And then he pulls his hand away, and it just continues to burn and burn and burn. And you can look over, and you can see it's still sort of bleeding. These 3 claw marks wrapped up against basically your shoulder. As you receive, Gregory, the mark of the beast.
Do I not feel any holiness burning it away? I'm assuming not.
It feels like a painful wound that just continues to burn as if freshly delivered, as it was.
Alright. As I try to just come to the understanding of what this means, as I put my hand on the wound, as the blood starts to dry ever so slightly to my palm. We hunt your man then. I saw him. I saw the darkness that's been shrouds him, and when I saw your kind, I almost thought the same darkness shrouded them. Are you sure he's not one of your kind?
Perhaps in spirit, a creature of darkness, hiding his true face. But no. Even we who try to hide still bear the scent of man and that of beast. This man, he is a predator like no other. You saw darkness, you say. True devout man, with the eyes of the divine. And you see the light and feel the darkness. And you see the foul creatures that wander through this world.
This place is all but fallen. That's why I pray to all the gods that the hymn I heard when you found me in this church can be rekindled again.
Tell me, Cyrus, does the title Lord of Night mean anything to you?
It speaks of great power, though its meaning and its history I know nothing of. It's fascinating. He turns his attention to you, Luna. As he was about to say something to you, Gregory, until Luna steps forward, so his attention suddenly shifts to her. Lord of Night. Tell me more.
Well, that's not much more I can say. I just know he held the title of Lord of Night, I guess.
Understandable. You believe this doctor to be no mere man, something not from this world. Possibly a name he carried with him, or one he left behind. This doctor, as Eric Gelner, has many secrets, and very few we've managed to pry. We know in this time we've been here, of all the citizens, of all the denizens of whom praise his name, there's one he has been always close to. One often invited to each other's abode, as a friend, as if one could be
Man.
friends with the creature. Indeed. Leighton Lynch. A poor soul at the end of a dying bloodline he is. A creature of weak heart. And as you said, he has lived in this town far longer than any other. I believe he has ties not only to this mayor, but to those who preceded him. In your eyes, devout one, you saw him masked in darkness. A darkness that covers this town. That is a predator. A creature that hides its presence in its surrounding. Tell me, when you see the world around you, do you smell the rot? Do you feel the desecration? Can you hear the howl of the spirits that haunt the place? They are everywhere.
Yeah.
We
This
believe
place is
he is using them to hide his true nature.
I don't know. When I saw him, I expected to find pure evil in his skin, but the darkness around him, it clung to him like it was alive itself. I thought maybe he was a victim himself, but I just don't know. And as you can see, the tiny little points of bright white light around me, it seems like ever so slightly, one at a time, they start to change, shift in color, be slightly more white, more bluish, as the area stops being cast in as much white light and more what looks like moonlight.
If he is drawing power from these shadows, would not cutting him off from that place reveal his true form? If that is what he is using to hide himself.
He believes so. Whether he has found something or is creating something, it is uncertain. But we believe his hand is at play, at this source that draws the darkness deeper into this town. A creature of night that needs night.
See,
If you find this and remove it, well, the darkness would thin, and perhaps you may see him for what he really is. The predator would lose his cloak. No more sense to hide beneath.
One of my snakes locks eyes with Persephone. What was it you were going to say, Persephone?
We're talking of him as if he's a predator, somebody that hides his true form, but I looked into his heart. I felt almost a bottomless well of grief and sorrow. I don't understand how that would be.
A predator does not have to be evil.
Perhaps he hides a secret of his own, one that pains him. As when you say that, Persephone, when you say I looked into his heart, you got a pair of eyes fixed right on you, and the closest thing you can tell to a true and sort of cutting smile on the face of this man. A pride of secrets we have among us. Your task. You feel it burning now, don't you? It is a simple one. What we seek to do is to remove the source of this darkness. To find it and take it out of the picture. Destroy it, dismantle it. It is hard to say what must be done, but it must be gone. If so, we believe these dark clouds will part. The secrets we wish to find will be made ready. And we may leave. What comes of the doctor is no true concern of ours. He is an obstacle, the bearer of what we seek. Shall he die? Well, it would not be a terrible price to pay.
That's very lazy. Gotta know what's going on.
Let us decide the ultimate fate of Eric Gelner. You will have your secrets. You will have your offering to make. And once this is handled, maybe you and I could speak about greater opportunities. As Samantha extends a hand to Ceres.
As he looks down at the hands and his eyes move up back to you, Gregory.
Let's see this done. As I reach out and grasp onto the top of the blade of my sword, as all of this light has just been fading and fading and turned to this more dull light, as you can just see the blood trickling down his shoulder.
Ooh.
The sword that was now once lit and brilliant yellow light, as soon as he touches it, the blade just washes over with this blue dull light, and you can almost see at the ground where it's pierced into the stone itself almost seems to crumble and break away, as if it's just deteriorating.
Very well. As his hand reaches out, takes onto yours, Samantha, as he actually turns to you now with a smile on his face. an extension of the pack. A cooperation, if only temporary. But things may change. People may change.
Indeed.
I will advise you all this. We have tried to pry our eyes past the doors of that laboratory. We have lost 3 of our kind who ventured in and never returned. We believe the secret he hides may lie within there, but we know nothing more than that. It will certainly be a dangerous task. We advise you seek some secrets of your own. Pry your eyes about, be it in the laboratory or in this town. There may be hidden mysteries inside you may not be prepared for. Do your best, and do not die.
When he says we know nothing more than that, Greg's face just shoots up, stares him in the eyes. Fine, man. We done here.
Nearly. You slayed our kind. Where have you left?
They're up above. In between the pews.
Very well.
As he looks around, and you can see a couple of the other members sort of give each other knowing looks, and they very carefully wander around the group, very silently stepping past you, Javen, and you, Quill, as they make their way up the steps.
It's probably been about 10 minutes as the light slowly starts to fade.
Oh, yeah.
More and more of my snake hair just seems to be watching Gregory. Well, then we need to get to work.
Yeah. I can just feel the strange power in my right arm that seems to be radiating down to my blade as I can see sort of the effect it's having on the ground as I look down as the blade itself seems to be eating away at the stone at the tip of its blade. So I just shake my head, try to ignore it, and turn back around and start to walk out.
As Sarah stands, sort of his hands at his side, watching you go, some of the other people behind him start to walk around. Sort of gathering back up at the temple. Anything else you guys want to do? Anything else you want to say? Ask him, as seems like his opportunity to leave.
So where do we start now?
Perhaps where you were earlier.
The wound, I guess.
I mean, I don't know if you guys can travel with me, but I guess we can try.
Perhaps we should rest first. Samantha, you don't look the best.
Saw through my front, did you?
Yeah, as I start to walk up the stairs, it's pretty obvious that I'm fucking dragging my feet on the steps. Like, it's fucking hard to lift my feet.
Gregory, are you okay?
Yeah, just... Hell. I'll be fine.
Okay, you guys make your way back up the steps. You enter back into a strange amount of soft light into the decimated temple of Sune, the silver light circle. And again, you sort of come up around the edge and you look around. Maybe some of you maybe peeking at what's going on with those other members, but you don't see where those rogue people went. And yeah, looks like where you left the bodies, sort of nestled between the pews. hidden out of plain sight. They also seem to be gone until nothing remained. Seems like another empty church when you first came here.
We can rest here. It might be safe, but I don't know. We head back to the inn. The people are probably already starting to talk. There was a solace in that alley.
Well, even if they are, I doubt it'll be much more than gossip and rumors. Thankfully, their approval is not our concern.
Where then?
So you guys are taking a rest inside of the church? What are you guys doing? You guys are hanging out? What are you doing?
I thought we were going back to the inn.
So, do we want to do a long rest or a short rest? Well, what I want to say, we probably should do whatever we're doing soon. I don't know if the portal will work during the day.
I'll be ready to go in an hour.
Yeah, just give me a bit. Like my damn thought.
I can push
So it's a short rest right here.
Yeah, sort of settle down inside of this broken church. Some of you probably might find some comfortable pews, at least the most comfortable looking ones. Sort of rest a bit and tend to your wounds. Some of you just a bit anemic after some exposure to some bloodsuckers. Others just maybe exhausted and having to deal with new responsibilities placed on their shoulders. You guys, want to do in particular, or are you just resting?
Persephone,
lots of sugar.
Persephone's gonna take the opportunity while everyone's resting to investigate the Ceres serum that she got from Dr. Gellner, just trying to understand its properties, its components. Even though it was to see if she can help him, now she's not entirely sure if his intentions are quite what he makes them seem to be.
Give me a medicine check. Sure. With your sort of, how are you investigating? How are you examining the properties? Are you just sticking your finger in and tasting it?
She's started to get a little methodical with examining potions and serums. So first she'll swirl the bottle to get a waft of its scent, and then yes, she'll put a little bit on her finger and examine its consistency, and then take a little bit of a taste, stopping briefly to take notes in between to understand it all.
Okay. Yeah, with those actions, it seems like it's interesting because you look inside of this vial and it looks relatively transparent. There's a little bit of cloud inside. It definitely smells of like faintly of iron, and the taste is also of iron. But with nothing else to sort of back it besides the sort of harsh bite. It almost tastes like you're drinking blood, really diluted blood. Kind of interesting how maybe you would use this. It doesn't. I mean, you don't immediately feel any properties, like when you're working with your own herbalism potions. It doesn't seem like it's something that maybe you would drink to get better. You kind of recall the doctor mentioning you need to sort of replace the bad blood with good blood. And so maybe just through that understanding and looking at the way this is designed and how it makes you react, there's probably something that I guess you would probably inject into someone. But there is one thing that kind of stands out to you, even though your methods of examining it, understanding it, are very rudimentary. You're swirling a bottle and kind of smelling and tasting it. You don't know what else is in this. You don't taste anything that particularly seems extraordinary. It's not like you're tasting some special ingredient inside that's required for this. It mostly just seems like blood. Like it definitely would take a skilled hand to craft something like this, but seems pretty simple compared to all the hubbub around the creation of it.
That's so bizarre. It makes sense, but it's also bizarre. She's just kind of muttering to herself as she's scribbling the notes.
So yeah, Samantha just continues making a bit of progress in her book, just sort of wincing in pain every so often, but just calling on her own internal vitality, trying to replace a lot of that blood that she lost.
Okay. Anyone else do anything? Or are we moving on?
Yeah, I'm just taking a sit down, taking a breather, and just trying to focus on the weird turmoil going on inside my body right now. Because for a real long time, Gregory's always had the fucking connection to a place of light where he can call upon the essence to heal someone's wounds just at a touch for years now. And at this point, it's like it feels like his body's being split in half, where his right arm feels like it's almost sharp. It feels like it's twitchy to the point where it's almost got a mind of its own, and he could feel when he was holding his blade the first time it really felt like something just fucking horribly deadly to him. Where it was always before a tool to a lot of time use as a shield from its bulk, but now it feels like something meant to cut someone down. And it sort of scares him a bit.
I'll walk over to Luna.
What can we expect in this place?
Well, if you guys do get there, it's going to be a lot of wisps. Those will be the spirits. They seem to leave me alone mostly, though they are interested in the fact that I was flesh and blood and not a spirit like them, but it seemed mostly harmless. It's the dark ones that you have to worry about.
Samantha looks up from her magic book. Wait,
Like
how
the
did
ones
you...
we fought in that, which room?
How did you get back from there again?
Oh, the stone that I got from the hags.
Can you do that again?
See, about that. Not until tomorrow.
I had a strange inkling that that was the case.
However, we could probably just go back through the portal. I only used it because it was faster.
But what if things are quite dire and we cannot make it or find the portal?
Or what if it closes?
Then we sleep there.
In the Shadowfell. I've never known you to tell such great jokes.
Even if we do go to the Shadowfell, what exactly is it that we would be looking for that would help us with Gelner?
Well, the Ceres spoke perhaps of something that these spirits or this energy is drawn to. Maybe there is a sort of mirrored objects or something like that. Something that we could find there that he has a connection to.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like we should go straight to the lab.
Here, in the city, or in the shadow place?
Well, the shadow fell of this town isn't a direct copy of Garen's Well. It's like a completely different town.
Is that normal?
I've been to the Shadowfell like twice. I don't know what's normal there.
I do not feel that I'm trying to just... It sounds as though you're proposing just fighting our way through the laboratory. That does not seem wise at all, and quite likely to fail.
And the other attempts from the Pact to go and search through his lab, their people went missing.
Yes.
Yeah, and you saw how easily Gregory cut them down. Doesn't really surprise me.
But we do have something that they don't.
We're here to find answers. I don't know if he's the source of all this, but I'm damn well certain he knows something.
I don't think you can force it out of him, though.
No. But if he would tell anyone,
He would
it would be
probably
you.
tell me.
Yeah.
You think the best play is to confront him with the fact that that's Luna?
Or we beat it out of him.
Persephone, you said he was sad. Do you know what he was sad about?
We were talking about the fire and asking his version of events. He seems to be going along with what the other people in town are saying, that it was a fire that started, he was in his lab, it consumed the clock tower and the children inside. That's when I looked into it, because he mentioned that he lost somebody very, very close to him. And that's when I felt it.
Either he cares for Luna, we find him, and he helps. Oh, he's part of the problem, and he needs to be stopped. Anyways, I don't like the ideas of us wandering off and leaving him to just do what he wills if he is a problem. And if we do go to the Shadowfell, what are we looking for there?
Answers, like you said so yourself.
But would we even know what those look like?
The only thing I found in Shadowfell that was out of place, that was connected to him somehow, was that castle that I got to. But there was nothing really left. There was no books that I could read. There's nothing inscribed anywhere. It was just the castle.
He was stripped bare.
Well, no, it was aged.
I vote we go after the living, if he is.
Samantha just kind of like leans forward a bit and snakes look around the room at each of you. How well rested are all of you?
I'm in perfect health.
My eyes are strained, I can't see the truth of it until I rest. But besides that, I'm fine.
I still have some magic left, so if I need to be your eyes, Gregory, perhaps I can.
I still have plenty of magic left.
I do think, though, if we're looking for a chance of rest, this may be the one we'll get. We know that he don't particularly like the day. Them things, they didn't like the light.
So if we're going to the Shadowfell, we go now. If we're going to the lab, we go tomorrow.
It would make sense to go to his lab during the day, when he's potentially at his weakest. Assuming, of course, we can get in, and things happen to work out in our favor.
We can go to during the day. We ain't gotta worry about anything else roaming the streets. We can't help people here.
But we would have to worry about passerbys, because it would be daylight.
Something tells me people aren't able to look into his home.
You saw that place. It was bolted up to the nines.
Do the gifts of the Fae not have a way to obscure those they care about from sight?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Can you cast invisibility, woman?
I don't think so.
It'd be under second level spells.
Then no. No, I cannot.
I think that's like a swamp druid thing or something.
Oof. Or Underdark,
Think-
maybe?
One of them gets it.
Best I got is pass without trace.
Mm-mm-mm. I mean, Pass Without Trace is really good in terms of actually stealthing places, but just being seen does not stop that.
We could try sneaking in ourselves, or tomorrow with a bit of magic, I could befriend a nearby creature, and with a little more magic, see through their eyes, send them into Gelner's home, have them look around for us.
Yeah.
I guess that could work.
So we rest for the night. Head there in the morning.
Yeah, I guess aimlessly stumbling around in the Shadowfell wouldn't pan out very well for us. Don't know where we'd look around town otherwise. You seem to suggest there could be answers in other places. Does anything come to mind for anyone?
He's close with the mayor and the mayor's family.
I did mean to speak
Samantha,
with
you-
him.
Right, and you're good at speaking with nobility. Perhaps if there's anybody that could get any information that'd be useful, it may be you.
We don't want to take forever here, but we've only been in town at night. We don't really know anything about this place.
Well,
Should we
We
spend
know-
tomorrow looking into it?
Sounds like a good idea to me. I can speak to the mayor tomorrow. Persephone, you can send in your squirrel or whatever it is you're going to do. And perhaps the rest of you could look about town for some information. Something that could potentially be useful.
Yeah.
And if nothing comes up, we reconvene, say... Does 2:30 sound early enough? We still want the sun to be up if we're just going to waltz into the laboratory.
Was the clock tower working in town?
Yes.
Well, we got a clock to see it. Works for me. Come back here. 2:30.
Where's here in relation to the lab?
The lab's mostly kind of central in the town. Where your eyes are right now is more like northwestern. Or northeastern, rather. One of the ways, not close, not super close to the wall, but enough to where, like, you could say your northeastern part of town.
You said before it was like a 20-minute walk or something?
About 20, 30-minute walk. You guys went fast, we went 20 minutes last time.
That seems doable, I guess.
Alright. Hopefully Lana soon will wander over us in this place. Whatever's left of it.
You're proposing to rest here.
I honestly don't trust them.
why's that?
This place is dark. The times I've tried to look into it, I've felt nothing but darkness and death about it. This is the only place with the hint of godliness still in. Close I can be to that hymn.
Well,
I don't know if I could sleep anywhere else.
then here we will stay.
Pews for beds. Thankfully, I need not sleep.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'm assuming, like, the wolf guys who came to get their other wolf guys are not just casually cleaning up body while we're just having this conversation.
Oh no, you
feet.
came up the stairs. You came up the stairs. Obviously, some of your eyes would go straight to where those bodies were. They're gone. You don't see any signs of the wolf people who left.
Yeah, they gobbled them up.
Yeah, ate them. Hey, waste not, want not.
Yum,
Hopefully they do not see this as us encroaching upon their territory. But I'll be awake to smooth things over in case that's a problem. If we're going to rest up, Samantha just like takes off the rest of her stuff and just puts it behind her, propping herself up properly, and gets a lot more comfortable to actually really start reading. Then let's do that. Let's rest quickly so we can be up early. We have work to do.
Yeah. Look, I'll take first watch, though. My mind is still swimming.
Okay.
I'll take last watch then.
I'll take
the
third.
last two.
Actually, I'm going to join you two for first watch then.
Us too.
You and Samantha.
Oh, that's right.
Never sleep.
Samantha takes all the watches.
Yeah.
Samantha the Sentry. Javen, you taking a watch? Or you sleeping?
I have advantage on perception checks.
Oh, wait, that's right. Samantha takes all watches. Never mind, I'm sleeping. Go help yourselves.
Peter might have had to run off.
Okay, that's fine. As it seems like Javen, after sort of losing some blood and having to recover now, he's. You know what happens when a man who's almost always drunk loses blood? So not really good. He crashes pretty hard.
There's just booze left in his veins. There's nothing else.
It's like you see him like sitting in one of the pews, head sort of lowered, like he's meditating, and then becomes very obvious he's just falling asleep.
Wait. Should the Sturges have gotten drunk from drinking his blood?
Ugh.
Didn't live long enough to tell.
As
We're
okay,
David at the vampire guys.
you guys begin to settle in, sort of make your makeshift camp here in this, as Gregory described, the only place with a sort of sliver of divinity to it. Some of you finding places on the ground, maybe pulling out bedrolls, or just finding maybe a comfy spot to sit and trance. You can hear the sounds through some of the cracked windows of rain now starting to let up outside. When you first entered, it was still pouring down, but now it's starting to soften, as if the night is getting long. As we have Samantha, Gregory, and Persephone. Do you guys want to do anything, or are you just hanging out?
I'm gonna be fucking. I try to settle down for a bit, but it does not last very long. I start to fucking pace. It's pretty obvious that I'm starting to jump at shadows, and very quickly on, I just fucking. Looks like I'm almost hyperventilating a little bit, and just. I just need some air. I'll be right back. As I'm gonna head out the church, just a little ways. As there's one thing that I could do to try to calm my mind, a bit of a ritual that I've done a few times, and, well, there's a loyal companion that is a gift from the light. Please still be there. As he's going to go outside in the dreariness of it all, try to find a somewhat dry corner, and start a little bit of ritual calling upon the light. Basically what feels like residing in the left side of his body to call poor Nero back to him.
Okay. About 10 minutes. Anything else? Anything else you guys are doing in particular during that time? As Gregory takes some time to walk out and get some fresh air in the rain.
Yeah, Persephone's gonna spend some time writing and reviewing her journal, just the dreams that she's had and what she's seen, and then she remembers very wise words of a old forest guardian, that if she ever needed answers, she'd find them in her dreams. And it occurs to her that she doesn't have much control of whose dreams she starts popping into, or when. And so she begins to meditate with a clear goal in mind, seeing if maybe she can will herself into a dream, one of her friends, thinking maybe since Luna's asleep right now, maybe she can hop back into Luna's dream. Maybe if she has the same dream again, there were some things that she noticed that she didn't investigate further. And she's starting to wonder, maybe instead of being a witness to these dreams, maybe she can interact with them as if it was the waking world.
Interesting.
Ooh, we got Omen thinking.
Okay. You're meditating, sort of focusing on that. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You doing anything in particular, Samantha? You just playing Sentry?
Unless I'm engaged with, I'm just playing Sentry and reading my book on the
Okay.
arcane mysteries.
Just making sure. So, like, you see Gregory get up to leave. Looks like he's kind of stressed about the whole situation or something. He's going out to get some fresh air. Persephone is being relatively quiet. She seems to be sort of like how Quill is in a way. Quill's sitting in a meditative state, although hers, maybe her own style of doing so. And yeah. Roll me a straight up Arcana check. Oh. Maybe it's everything that you've been dealing with recently, Samantha. Maybe it's just the fact that these last few, I guess you'd call them adventures, you've been finding yourself on. You've been having to deal with more than just the normal. This world has always seemed so mundane, and yet now, walking upon it, you see that there's magic coaxing everything, and it seems to play a part in not even the most mundane and most extreme of situations. And perhaps just thinking now that this Shadowfell you've heard of, you've understood, has been spreading into this world, what should catch others by surprise and send them in confused states. It's almost second nature to you. You've been reading up upon the way that sort of this theory that magic sort of acts as like this fabric that separates not only the world we walk in, but those that press up against it. And at this point, Samantha, it's almost in your research feels like you're not learning anything, really. Like what you're going over is now just sort of a summation of what you've been studying this time. And you sort of just close that book, and there's that sense of like a satisfaction as you would say, if someone were to ask you your ability in maybe the art of magic, the understanding of it, the explanation of it, you're no longer just a natural at it. You are proficient as you gain proficiency in Arcana. Finally got it.
Now to go hunt down Elminster and keep going.
Go get the big book. As Gregory spent some time outside, eventually calling upon your magic, just calling out for that familiar sight, and you can hear this sound, a scratching of stone, and off in the distance in the darkness. There's again with the rain falling. Now, though it's subsiding, the torches are sort of dim, so the lights are kind of not quite catching your eye.
Yeah, the usual of saving that sort of glow in the distance that Nero would make his somewhat triumphant entrance. It is quite a different sight, as I hear the hoofbeats as I would before, but they're weirdly echoey and almost hollow, the beat of this. It's honestly just sort of, well, horrifying, like something stalking you on the streets. And it's no light that he sees. Actually see what looks like the mist that lays upon this place starts to swirl upwards from the street as the hoofbeats with no body attached to them, as the hooves start to clop across the wet stones, as from those they seem to just billow upwards, as instead of the flash of light, it seems like the mist itself turns into this almost sickly looking pale horse. The eyes looks like they're just cataracts and whited over. He's still large, but his hair is mangled and matty. On the right side, above his right haunch, is just this horrible scar strucken across the front of his. Hell, Nero. Gregor just walks over and puts a hand on the snout. I'm sorry, buddy. We'll get through this. And I just
And with-
spend a little bit of time out there, but quickly enough, I head back inside as the night just sort of starts to loom on me, and I'm fucking getting tired. My shoulder just starts aching, and I need to fuck.
Oh, especially as you sort of spend a bit more time just looking over Nero in his new state, kind of feeling sorry, just realizing that, you know, it's not just you that has been marked by this place. It's your magic. It's the light that's been tarnished. And as you're turning, maybe some of the clouds are starting to finally disperse. A sign maybe the sun might be coming out eventually. Some of that silver light starts to illuminate the area, and it casts upon you. And yeah, then that once it hits you and your horse, that shoulder again, it just feels like the claws are back in there. It's that same hot stinging pain.
And with that, I almost dodge back into the building because I feel it just starting to burn, and I almost instinctively just run for cover. As I have Nero keep watch. Been a little bit more relieved, even though he's in that sort of decrepit state. I know he'll watch my. So I go inside and don't even really say a word, as I try to keep watch for a little bit, but I just collapse, fucking sitting up in a pew, pass the fuck out even before my watch is.
Okay. And Persephone. As you're meditating, focusing, it's kind of hard to do, because remember when you did this last time, your mind was sort of fading. So it takes quite some time before you start to feel that same sensation, which, as it gets on, even in your hazy state, you're realizing you're about to fall asleep. You're basically about to fall asleep right now, but you got to keep that concentration. Roll me a straight wisdom check.
All right, and here goes my advantage with that.
Ooh. Yeah, you're feeling yourself. It's hard to maintain this, Persephone, because when you're trying to consciously do it, it's like a combination of focusing on your magic while also falling asleep, which you've known through practice and experience. Hard to maintain your magic when you're unconscious. But once eventually you hit a very familiar state that takes you back a long time ago when you and Clyde were resting in a tree, and you found that state where you weren't quite awake, you weren't quite asleep, and you could sort of just almost see or feel something off in the distance. When you had that final pyre, that resting place for Mitty when he died. Only this time, as your eyes begin to sort of fade and you're starting to see that horizon between consciousness and unconsciousness, you sort of open them up, sort of like snapping to, realizing you're about to fall asleep, and you're inside a different building. Everything's dark. Everything is well kept. You're not inside the church anymore. It's a pretty nice little place. And you can hear the soft sound of long brass strings being struck by hammers, as you can almost hear, maybe faintly in the distance, the sound of a piano being played, this gentle melody. And you can see off in the room, you see a man with long dark hair, very elegant clothing, smiling more than you've seen him ever before, warmer than ever before, with his hands placed upon these keys, sort of guiding them, but not truly playing as an expert would, because instead, resting upon those hands are a smaller pair. You see a small girl with long dark hair resting in his lap, as it seems like the two of them are working through a melody of sorts. And you're almost right next to them, but you sort of pull away, and you can find yourself somewhat distancing yourself between them and the rest of the dream.
What was that last part as I'm pulling away?
Between them and the rest of the dream, as you're sort of pulling yourself away, you see, like, it looks like this is the central point. The world around you sort of falls away, becoming less and less detailed, like almost like a watercolor painting. But where they sit is where everything seems to be focused and centralized. But you can sort of pull yourself to the edge of the dream.
Oh, wow. Huh. Okay. As I'm taking note of the center, I'm trying to walk around this scene to reorient myself. I want to get a look at their faces, who it is that I'm seeing, maybe who it is, the dream that I'm a part of.
Sure. Getting a little closer, maybe almost cautiously at first because it feels like you're getting close to a person, and you have to kind of remind yourself, maybe they probably can't see you, maybe they can. When you do, it becomes obvious. The older man in his fine gown. The only thing that really makes him look different from when you saw him earlier was just his happy expression. It's Eric Gelner, and in his lap is a very familiar child who held on to you just a couple nights ago in their last sort of dream escapade. It looks like, soon to be a younger Luna. And again, her eyes are sort of eyeing this grand display of both black and white keys before her. Her hand's not really she's trying to reach out to play them, but you can see it's Eric who's guiding them, just playing a nice little melody. Something soft, not quite haunting, but slow and intimate. And you can hear his voice very soft and gently, trying to explain how to very delicately hit the keys and how one must be ginger when playing this instrument. A gentle touch is all one needs. To do too much, and, well, it all falls to chaos.
Huh. Well, Persephone wanted to try explore this place like it was a waking world, so she's going to take a look around the room, get a better idea for what this place may be. I assume it doesn't look like the clock tower.
It looks similar. The walls don't look like a similar build. It might be that you're in a different room.
I look over to the piano almost warily, and with a deep breath, I'm going to go for it. Do you have this dream often? I speak to the centralized area, trying to see if he reacts.
You can see him sort of playing, and he sort of turns his head your direction until his eyes meet yours, Persephone. And he sort of, it looks like it's almost shocking at first to see him smiling at you, and then he goes back to playing gingerly. Doesn't seem like he really is paying you too much mind, but to you, Luna, you suddenly wouldn't even realize you were here until that voice echoed through the air, and suddenly you realize, I'm in a dream. And you heard Persephone's voice. But you're really tiny.
I mean, it's a dream. Just start doing whatever you want. Just lucid dream. You're the DM. Oh, I'm kidding.
I look over at Persephone and just, in this childlike voice, I say, "The fuck are you doing here?"
Oh my gosh, this is your dream.
What did I tell you about?
We
What do you
can't. I thought maybe it was worth investigating a little bit more about your connection with Eric Gelner. This is a lot different than what I saw the first time. Almost like he's your real father? Does she look like she's older in this dream than she was the last one? Or younger?
She seems a bit younger. Last time she was like almost a teenager, going like a younger adult. This is more like a small child, like a girl. She's wearing. What would you wear as a child, Luna? Let's just say that. What would you wear if you were like 8 or 9 years old?
Like a Nina.
Like a Nina. What would you wear if you were Nina?
I guess whatever he would buy me, assuming he would dress me in relatively nice sundresses, though they would probably still be dark and colored, because that's still what I prefer. But
yeah, sort of a loose, like somewhat gothic in design little dress. It's short enough to where if you were to twirl, it would rise up, and it look cute and girlish, but mostly, yeah, it looked very girly.
Wednesday Addams got it.
Yeah.
So, what do you see?
I see that you're a lot younger, which means you've met him a lot sooner than Justin Garen's well. Maybe we could go exploring here. Sometimes our dreams are not just dreams, they're memories. They can be. and I was trying to see if I can go into one and explore. So, let's see if we can find some answers about your father.
She kind of shrugs, and I guess I don't know how to change a dream, but as soon as we'll kind of try and like hop off his lap. I don't know if what happens.
Persephone's like extending her hand as like an invitation for her to, because she's not entirely sure either how much control Luna has or how much it is that she herself needs to facilitate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Luna, you start to pull yourself off his lap, and you can hear him speak. Already done. All right then. Enough practice for the day. Go on and play then. As he sort of scoots off the bench and sort of lets you out of his lap and helps you to the ground. You wish to go outside, little one? The sun is still out. I assure you it might be safer at night.
So like at Persephone, I'm just kind of shy that, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Ask him why it is he doesn't want you playing in the light.
What's wrong with the daytime? Why is night safer?
You know, if I step out into that light, it'll make me sick, Luna. If you get in trouble, I cannot save you.
Oh, it's alright. I have my friend here as I point to Persephone.
As you see him turn up to you and sort of looks confused, and his image seems to sort of waver for a second. Ah, your friends, of course. If they will watch you, then so be it.
They. Go on outside, Luna.
As he motions up towards a set of stairs that suddenly realize they're almost there. As you're mentioning that, Persephone, like, let's go outside, the dream sort of shifts a little bit, and you can see almost like that sort of border of like ill-defined sort of move, and you can see it leads to the staircase, and you realize, oh, you're down a level. It goes up one way, and then also goes down the other way, even deeper into the ground.
Lead the way.
What's downstairs?
We are downstairs.
I got you.
Oh, wasn't there more
Downer
downstairs?
stairs.
Oh.
That's not for you, Luna. That is my workshop.
Why? What do you do down there?
Very, very private and delicate things, where playful little girls should not be wandering.
I put a hand on Luna's shoulder. Go upstairs and go outside. I'll stay here. If he goes into that room in the lab, if that's his lab, we can see what he's doing. And at least outside you can see where it is that this place is.
I feel like he can hear you, but okay. So I will start heading upstairs.
I wouldn't be so sure. He
He's
hasn't
making webs.
come to me.
You can see as Persephone, as Luna starts to make her way upstairs, little tiny feet hopping up every step, boom, boom, boom. Again, you can sort of feel that sort of drying sensation as like all the life around you, this dream that you're in, starts to become less detailed as she leaves with it, and around you, you can see things become a little bit more ill-defined.
Oh God, no, that was a terrible idea. I start running back up to Luna and I grab her arm. Okay, bad idea. I can't see anything back there. This is still a work in progress. Maybe we can spy on him. Follow him down to the lab.
Persephone, I don't know if I've ever even been in that laboratory.
Well, this is what we're doing now.
Persephone, this is a dream.
Yeah.
You talked down to my child.
Persephone!
Tiny sass.
Think of your shit.
It might be a dream, but it is moving wherever you're moving. Those stairs weren't there until you were going to go outside.
Because that's part of my memories.
Are you sure that you've never been to his lab before then? Maybe you did one time, and you just don't recall.
Luna raises her head in exasperation. I guess I could try as she's going to not go downstairs yet. She's going to try and hide a bit and see what he's doing.
You see him sort of smile as he watches you off, and then he seems to walk down the very stairs. And step by step by step, goes down into the darkness. Where you can look down and, I mean, you're kind of squinting your eyes and looking. It's a little too dark for you to see down there. Seems like it was way before your eyes sort of accustomed to the full extent of what you could do now. But yeah, he seems to be walking step by step, very carefully.
Can you make light?
Are there candles around that I could try to druid craft? Candle? Does produce flame do light? I feel like produce flame does light.
You're looking around for a candle, Persephone, like looking for something. There should be like one on this wall, and then roll me a wisdom save, a wisdom check. You kind of realize, and you can see the wall sort of bulge a little bit, and then bulge a little more as if something's popping out of it, and then there's a candle on the wall.
Oh my god! I cast my druid craft upon the candle to light it. That should at least help you to go down the stairs and see.
Okay, I'll slowly go down the stairs, see if I can try to remember if there's any of them that like creak a lot, just so I avoid that.
Oh yeah, you're sort of walking down. You get to the second, third, fourth. You know there was one that always did creak, and it's how you got caught so many times trying to follow him down into his private workshop. So you sort of carefully hop over that one, and as he's walking down the steps, strangely enough, he doesn't even seem to notice you, even though you start getting closer and closer in the darkness, until he finally gets to the end of this room where it starts to become a bit more clear to you in your mind, Luna. It looks like a storage room. There's lots of boxes, crates, things. Looks like bottles and vats of chemicals. Things he often works with, but are kept inside of sealed containers, supposedly for your safety and other people's safety as well. But in the back of this room, there is this wall. It looks like an empty, it looks like the walls are made of stone, like everything else. And he just walks up to a single corner of it, and he puts his hand up to it, and he turns around to look at you, as if he finally realizes you're there. And he says something to you, but the words are sort of empty. They're like hollow, like you can't quite understand what he's saying. It's like he's speaking down a tunnel far away from you. And then he's gone.
Persephone's gonna try to go where she saw Gellner and see if there's anything left over there. He was just in front of a wall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start pressing onto the stones of the wall. I don't know how anything works in this dream world, so Persephone's just gonna see if she can cast her detective magic, even though I don't have it prepped in the waking world.
Yep, you pull upon your senses, Persephone, going to sense everything inside of this realm, and think you cast it? You think it worked? You sense things, you sense magic, but you don't know where it's coming from? Maybe there's like a, I don't know, maybe you're sensing like a button on the wall, and then on the wall, a button appears. Maybe you're looking for another candle, another candle appears. And it's becoming obvious
this dream world you're in, the more you interact with it, the more you can just physically change about it. What you're looking for, what you're aiming for. If you're looking for something, if you want to find something in this dream, it's just gonna appear in front of you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna see if there is a stone to push in, a tunnel, a walkway. I want to see if I could follow him wherever he disappeared from.
Are you looking for a walkway?
Yeah, I'm looking for a walkway.
A walkway appears before you.
Persephone, I don't like the power that you have over my dreams. But
Come on, we're going down the
yes,
hall. I'm gonna just grab Luna's hand and we're gonna rush down.
Okay. As you rush down this hallway, down to the darkness, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and darker and deeper and darker and deeper and deeper and darker and deeper and deeper and deeper and darker and deeper and darker and deeper and darker and deeper.
It reaches you in your infinite wisdom that all things you could ever want could possibly be yours, but that does not mean that they exist.
It's becoming apparent again, Persephone. You wanted a walkway, and so a walkway appeared, and so you're running down to see where it leads, and you're not sure where it leads, and it just seems to lead to nowhere.
Oh my god. I just want to know what he did in his lab.
good job, Persephone.
You have any better ideas, Miss Sleepy?
How about one, stay out of my dreams, and two, we just go to the actual lab. Also, the next time, can you enter a dream where I'm older and not like this?
I think that would depend on you. This is your dream after all.
You just made a walkway in my dream. Can't you just imagine me older?
I'm going to try to take us back to the first dream that I was in with Luna.
Yeah, you sort of bring yourself back, sort of focusing your mind. Remember, what did it look like? Everything was dark and rainy. You were outside. There was a garden, white roses, a lot of terrible things, and yeah, Luna, you're starting to feel it too. The world around you starts to shake and fall apart and reform itself as if it were becoming liquid and changing, and suddenly you're no longer inside of your home. You're outside in a dark, rainy night in a garden with terrible things hidden inside.
Are we at the point where she was holding? Are we at the point where she was holding the note, or does she still have that note from the beginning of her last stream?
Is that where you want to go?
Yeah.
Then yeah.
That's the first place I want to go. Great. All right, you're going to need to give me that because I didn't see it the first time. I'm going to try to take the note from her and see what was written in it.
Hand it to her.
Okay.
Just dick butt.
Is it just a piece of paper that I'm looking at?
What do you remember, Persephone, of that first dream?
I remember Luna was standing in Garen's well. I remember a note in her hand. I remember she looked like she was lost. I saw Eric Gellner take her in. I remember him taking her blood. I remember seeing her sift through his garden and then digging through it. And I remember seeing Eric Gellner come out when it was night to approach her before she set him on fire and ran. The things that stood out to Persephone the most was the note in her hand, the trinkets that were in the garden, and the way that Gellner approached her. She's curious about what the note might have said, if this was her earliest memory before we even came to Garen's Well. Who put the trinkets in the garden? And what happened after Eric Gellner burned up for him to still be standing now.
And as you start to recall those things, Persephone, you're looking at this note, it looks like there's nothing but gibberish until finally when Luna fully hands it to you, and you're sort of seeing it almost through her eyes. Small, simple note, written in relatively beautiful handwriting that's now sort of being marred by falling rain. Only a few letters, a few words rather. We'll be back soon. Mom and Dad.
So your parents left you here, but it seems as if you've known Eric Gelner for much longer. I don't understand.
Just for clarification's sake, how old does Luna look at this point compared to the piano scene?
Looks about the same age.
Okay.
Yeah, but in this dream she ages up, too. So she starts young and she gets older until she sets him ablaze in her young adulthood, I would assume. Who put those gifts in the garden? I saw you picking them up last time we were here. Persephone's going to start making her way towards the garden.
I assumed it was him.
But why would he put it there if this is where he buried the bodies? It doesn't make sense for him to want you to find them. The children, not the trinkets. Maybe both.
Well, from what I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, there weren't any trinkets in the garden. Not originally. Not that I thought they were. I was just looking around, and the garden was the last place I ended up checking.
As Persephone's making her way to the garden, if the windows are not boarded up, she's going to try to, peer through them. And do you know what he was doing with your blood? No, they're boarded.
No, you just look outside, you see, it looks like maybe the soft light, they're not quite as defended as they are now, but again, everything inside is just sort of gray blob, just sort of like a darkness, a mass. If you're trying to look for something, look for Eric Gelner, you can see the vague shape of him forming before your eyes.
I just glare into the darkness, we're gonna need to work on this.
Do I know what he was doing with my blood?
What he was doing with your blood?
Yeah.
No idea. He said it was... You do recall he said it was something very precious to him. And you're doing a very good job helping him with his research. A very good job.
2 gold stars a day.
I'm a good noodle.
But yeah.
Fortunately, no, Persephone just told me I was helping him. Look, Persephone, we did at least learn quite a bit here. I don't think we're going to get any more.
You might be right. I wonder how...
Also, we took up a quarter of the session, so let's get everyone else involved.
Yeah, I should probably get some real sleep. Then,
Persephone?
Huh?
Don't do this again.
Persephone's just quiet as she tries to back out of the dream herself.
As you just try to focus and basically dissipate everything, you can see the rain starting to stop in the midair, falling... The ground starting to fall apart, like the soft earth becoming mud and something looser as the houses begin to pull apart to pieces. Until everything becomes this grand gray scape, and then... You're awake again, Persephone. Back in the church. Although now you feel like you just took a breath for the first time in quite a while,
and this heavy exhaustion sets you as you feel like you've lost some of your own magical power in the middle of this action, as both your 4th and 3rd level spell slots are all just expended all at once. You're pulling upon some deep magic, apparently.
Oh my god.
You alright?
If you-
Shouldn't you be heading to sleep? It's about that time. I thought you
Yeah,
were asleep, like
well,
Quill.
kind of. Luna's gonna kill me when she wakes up.
You're
Maybe I can
invading
just
people's
pretend it was
dreams
just a
again.
silly dream. This time it was me trying. It's different. Because I tried.
Whatever. I'm sure Luna can deal with you in the morning.
Yes,
Get your
I'm-
sleep. Might be the last time you
will.
get to sleep.
I will. I'm just gonna lie down on the pew and go to sleep.
Finally, it's sort of a weird sensation, Persephone, going back to sleep-ish, but the exhaustion sort of helps guide you as you slump back down and you find your rest as the first watch comes to an end.
Sorry, guys.
Over here thinking we still playing on fucking Fridays and shit.
As it comes to the second watch, it seems like, for the most part, the night's been quiet for you guys. Who's on second watch? Is that Mr. Quillor?
I'm on 3rd and 4th.
I think
Okay.
it's just Samantha.
Okay, so just Samantha by yourself. Again, sort of studying in your book, finding yourself up. You're finding a sort of completion point and just a sense of recognition of that. This is maybe you can actually start applying this skill in these situations, trying to understand the foul, weird magics going on in the world around you.
I also,
Yeah.
in addition to feeling complete, also feel a great sense of avarice. I want more. I want more.
The
So
hunger for magic never ends.
Yeah, so she just kind of mentally marks that down as something to continue to endeavor after, as she puts all of her focus into being the sentry for the second watch.
Sure. Give me a perception check with advantage with your snakes out and around.
Yeah. Oh crap, I opened another window. I'm sorry.
Epic fail.
Forgot how bad I have a perception of this character.
Epic fail.
They gotta have literally like 12 eyes to help.
Yeah, well, looking around your surroundings with all
Oh,
the walls and fails around, it's pretty quiet, almost unsettlingly quiet. Usually, you hear the sounds of maybe some beast or something howling off in the distance, and especially maybe just knowing what lies beneath this temple you're resting in be unsettling. It feels like the world right now is at a forced still. A little unnerving, but non-threatening to you.
I don't even hear like any like owls or anything off in the distance.
No.
Huh.
World around you just seems kind of dead.
It is unsettling.
Besides that, nothing else happens.
Wake up, Quildor, for third watch. Hey, bud.
Hello.
Brought from your trance. Anything you want to do,
Howdy.
Quildor?
Samantha,
Yes?
what do you make of this mark?
If I know what I know of Malar, I think the most worrisome part of it is that it may compel and twist Gregory to be more true to himself. Whatever that is underneath all of that fluff and niceties, the calming himself down to not scare others. Malar is all about embracing who you really are underneath it all. Embracing your true nature. I know Gregory spends a lot of his time trying to hide that. You would too if you had little siblings to watch after. They don't want a big, scary brute of a man watching after them. That's why they got rid of... Well, that's why they did what they needed to do. Gregory lies to comfort other people, not to deceive them, really. And Mark may compel him in ways that could be frustrating, but hopefully he can keep his wits about him for what we need him for. And if not, well, we can always talk to him.
Why do you focus on his anger?
I mean, his anger is really the only dangerous part about him. Everything else is usually quite useful. He's courageous, he feels fear, but he acts in spite of it. He's strong, he's steadfast. These things are who he is. Them being brought out even truer is only good for us. He cares for us, and he cares for his siblings. Undoubtedly, probably his siblings more, but he still wants to see... I think he wants to see the sun rise here again. He has a spoken attachment to the light. And this church, this sunbeam poking through a shadowy and misty night, is where he felt safest. My understanding of him is he wants to bathe this whole place in sunlight. And all of his other qualities will help him do that. And his anger, too, if he can keep it under control.
I think if anybody can, it's Gregory. So you're saying that this Malar unleashes people's true intentions?
I would not say that he does it, so much as it is his belief that you should do it. It does not necessarily, to my memory, force it upon you. Just simply says, if you want to follow in his teachings, in his way, you just will do it. You will embrace who you are. That's why he's not strictly evil.
And have you embraced who you are?
I know who I am. I just know that who I am does not always work well with others. Well, at least for their benefit.
Maybe one day you'll understand that there's more to this life than one's own benefit. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I will.
Quildor, give yourself some deep inspiration. Claimed into them traits. Okay, as third watch comes to an end, as soon comes the fourth. If there's anything else you guys want to do, I'm assuming Luna was sleeping through the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then it'll just be Quill and Samantha. So if there's anything else you guys want to do?
Nope.
Alright. A quiet end to the first few hours until eventually, strangely enough, your first time here in Garen's Well, seeing what you could call the morning, the beginning of the day, although the only thing that truly marks it is the ceasing of the falling rain. You can see outside this sort of soft glimmer of light, although it's more gray in color, as you find, looks like whatever the clouds still hang overhead. Looking out, you can see it looks like an overcast, a great dark one, as if there's still an impending storm to come, but there's been a calm. As morning comes on the morning of Friday, October 4th. With the soft, sort of silvery, clouded light coming through the window, some of you in your not getting so comfortable sleeping positions inside the church begin to stir as you guys begin to wake.
And I still don't have my fourth or third. Those are just done today.
Right.
And you wake up and thankfully you just got enough rest where you feel like it's starting to come back to you. As it seemed like what you did just expended a great deal of magic that almost took it out of you. But fortunately, you're able to maintain yourself and find enough rest in this short period of time to recover. And also prepare your spells.
Okay. We're not gonna try to do that every night. Nope. Nope.
Thank God.
Are we ready?
The dream spell has been banned from the game for pressing ceremonial reasons.
Gregory,
Yeah.
are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hell. So, what are we doing today again?
I'm going to find an animal, make friends with it, have it sneak into Geldner's clock tower while using magic so I can see and hear through its senses. But I'm going to need somebody to keep an eye on me because if I do that, I'm completely and utterly defenseless.
I'll protect you.
No, it's fine. She's got it.
Persephone, how long does it...
If she gets kidnapped, it's fine.
How long can you do that for?
Well, the animal would be my friend for until the next day, basically. And I can see and hear through it for about an hour.
You could you maybe disguise yourself?
The problem that I'm trying to avoid, Samantha, is
Being
meeting the
trapped.
same fate as the other members of the group down there.
Oh,
They
no,
sent
of
their
course.
own.
I'm saying just disguise yourself outside of his place.
I could, but I think I'm going to need to concentrate more on seeing through my animal friend. We can always hide, sit against a building or under a tree.
I just meant in the form of an animal.
I don't think I can cast magic as an animal.
You can cast magic and then turn into an animal.
Would that work if I'm beast sensing?
Is that concentration?
Beast sense is concentration.
Yeah. You can maintain your animal forms and also keep your concentration spells going. It's a lot of stuff. Basically, the only weird part about it in game would just be like you're focusing all these different magics together and just be a lot for Persephone. But capable, you could do it.
Yeah, because animal friendship's not a concentration. Speak with animals isn't a concentration. The only concentration is the beast sense, so I'm kind of going into it as I'm focusing all on that. I'm sure we'll be fine. Just had a rough night. After all, we did save those two women. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Maybe I had nightmares. We can come up with all sorts of stories.
To be honest with y'all, I might hold down the fort here. Just make sure that nobody's poking the nose around and nothing. Make sure that when y'all come back, you'll be alright. Unless y'all need me for something.
I don't believe so.
And I'll be here when you come back. 2:30, right?
Right.
Alright.
I'm gonna try to see if I can meet with the mayor if he's... Was he out of town, to my memory?
No, he's
He was just-
probably still in town. He's just you're talking, I think, to either a guard or Eric Gilner about meeting with him, and basically got the response of, "We could." Also, really late at night.
Gotcha, okay.
Shall we be off?
Yes, maybe I should find a cat. And Persephone's like wondering to herself as she walks out of the church which animal would probably be the best.
How would a cat get inside of a house?
We're gonna run into that problem no matter which creature I decide.
All I know is no matter
A
how
mouse?
strong a fortress is, cockroaches always seem to find their way in.
And mice, to be fair.
Perhaps a mouse
Are
or a
noticed
rat.
far more often than an insect.
I won't be able to control the creature. I'll be able to give it some instructions briefly. A lot of magic involved, but that's why I was thinking a cat, something that would understand me enough, or if I told it to go exploring inside the house, it can do that. I feel like
I
an
trust
insect.
your judgment.
Thank you.
Shall walk out, you just hear. Yes.
What's
Fucking
Nero look like?
beat up ass Nero standing off to one side of the door as you walk out. You can see that he was already somewhat of a paler color, but it looks like a big ass horse got real old real fucking quick. Like he's still massive in size, but like his legs are strangely skinny. He's got these like giant knob knees that fucking old horses get. You can see his eyes are just fucking coated white over. That look like they're just covered in cataracts. Yeah, he does not look well.
Gregory, I think your magical horse is dying. You might want to fix that.
Oh no, we just gotta be done with this place. None of this place is well.
They'll get that curse taken care of one way or another, Timberson.
Just
Yeah.
looking at
I agree with Anderson.
the mark on the back of it, and then Samantha just kind of just turns back to the church, walks up to Gregory, like stands like maybe 6 inches in front of you, takes off her bag off of her back. I don't know if here, if you're not going to be doing much else, you should tend to what's yours. And just hands you what looks like this small little leather bag, which sounds like some like various items and stuff rustling around inside of it. And embroidered on the front of it, you just see one word: Phobos.
Thanks. I get what do you mean?
Help your friend if he's not feeling well. And Samantha just goes off trying to go towards the mayoral estate.
Get confused for a second, open up the bag. I'm assuming I'm seeing like brushes and
All different kinds of horse care stuff, yeah.
Mhm. All tear stains. This
Yeah.
thing.
You say all tear stained?
You end up with at least one watch alone, Samantha. It's okay to cry.
As the
Among
party
other
steps
things.
outside of the church, you can hear this loud, dolorous sound. Doom, 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 doom. As it sounds like a bell at first, maybe some sort of alarm, but it's rhythmic, it's constant, it's not quite as alarming. It's more just, I guess, definitive. As you realize it's coming from the clock tower, as it seems like it's finally struck is possibly the time of about 8 in the morning. Like you guys were out pretty late and had to sleep in a little bit. Almost marking the clock on this small escapade, investigating before another meeting and potentially the confrontation. At the end of this clock, 2:30. Time where a decision must be made, and a man and his secrets must be dealt with. As tonight, that is where we will end Song of Rapture. A very roleplay focused heavy episode that revealed some new secrets and put some characters on different paths in their journey, it seemed. All I can give you tonight, y'all.
Good
Okay,
shit.
so maybe I shouldn't feel that bad.
Aw, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, to be fair, because I don't think you really knew where it was we were gonna go after that. So.
I mean, that's just DM stuff. You have plans, and then someone goes, wait a minute, let's do this thing. And it's okay. It was good. It was all good.
I'm glad. I wasn't expecting anything from it the first night.
I completely
Doesn't
forgot
make
about
any sense. The DM. I put the plot hook in front of them, and it makes complete sense.
I mean, hey, the plot hook told me, hey, go look for answers around town. And I'm like, all right, cool. I want to get answers. Let's go do that. So I don't know where the fuck to look. So I'm going to go do what I do best and hopefully go talk to someone who's in charge.
Go around town.
Which
I'm
I'm
gonna-
glad I don't have to do that right now because I have no plan whatsoever for what to talk
Yeah,
about
I'm
with this
gonna
guy. I have
find
nothing. Just like, all right, let's just try to improvise this. I need to write out questions and prepare these things ahead of time.
That's okay. That's okay.
Rough muffins.
You guys have a plan. There's a time you're going to meet, and a decision has to be made about what you're going to do about this. But until then, you have time to focus on how you're going to approach this investigation. Your newfound allies seem to give you sort of a sinister warning that those who simply just approach this place weren't seen from again. Simply charging ahead may prove to be dangerous. This will take planning. Something that your group has proven...
Perfect time. 100% track record. Except that one time where that guy fell off a fence and died. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. As long as there's no fences, we'll be okay.
Hey, I think that'd probably be like the best thing you could do to guarantee that you'll have a good time is to maybe think about where your guy would go, right? What kind of questions and who they might ask. All that good stuff. What kind of stones they might turn over. So be sure to tune in next week. Yeah, we're definitely playing next week. Actually, now I think about it, I'm just gonna drag Omen in front of the chair. Yeah, we're playing. We're playing next week. Be here next Thursday. We will not have a game Tuesday. John is off doing John things. Yeah, fist pump. But we will be back shortly thereafter for more Kingdoms of the South and all the things that we're getting up to there. Be sure to watch the VOD for last week's episode so you can see the most adorable set of animals ever. As it seems like the Apex Alliance have been led to a very secret and natural place, but seemingly unnatural, full of strange and magical and mystical creatures.
Feral, untamed, one might even call it wild.
Yes. And maybe there will be peace between the wilds and civilization. But
Killed them all.
the answers to those questions, we'll have to wait until we can actually get the answers from those people above us. Maybe arrange a meeting or two, Lucas. See what you can do. Pull some strings. Facilitate peace so that we can go to war. Hey. And then, we'll be back next week with more Song of Rapture as all of us sort of split off, go our own separate ways, Scooby-Doo style, and try to find some clues, guys.
What up, gang?
Yeah. I wonder who Shaggy and Scooby would be.
Rubber, Gregory.
Probably the druid and the fucking fighter.
Luna's Daphne. Definitely Daphne.
Samantha is
Even
Bella.
might be Scooby-Doo. Or he might be Shaggy. They're both addicted to something and kind of lackadaisical. He's not scared either. Anyway.
You know where else you can
You're
discuss that?
sort of falling apart here.
You
It's
can,
fine.
you
It's
can
whatever.
discuss what member of the cast each of us are in Scooby-Doo as our characters on the Discord. So be sure
For
to check
some
out.
reason.
Be sure to check out the Lighthead Gaming official Discord. Link in the chat right now. And be sure to follow on Twitch as well. So you can get updates and notifications for when we're going live and all that good stuff, and see the various memes that we tweet out about our games and all that good stuff. So be sure to follow their own social media. Other than that, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and we're gonna go host somebody else playing some wonderful D&D and give them some love. And as always, may your dice roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
Video.
Toodles!
And the second is 12 damage.
22. As you bring Ghost Cleaver into play, there is this maniacal dwarven laughter, followed by this sickening sound of rending, almost like rending leather, and a spray of greenish blood and ichor, as with 2 quick slices, you open up one of the lizard folk and it collapses in a mess at your feet.
He immediately jumps into it, reaches down and pulls the exposed viscera up out of the lizard folk and just like showers it down on himself.